Hi there, folks, and welcome to Kevin's Cooking Show. Because it's gotta be KD. Anyways, no, forget that. Tonight I'm cooking 21 grain porridge. It's a multi-grain porridge, and it's a staple food that I eat because it's so nutritious. It's full of energy, like I said, and it'll keep you feeling full. And most importantly, skinny, because it's super high in fiber. Alrighty, so information as to where to get started. You'll want a 16-liter soup pot, and then you'll also need to go to a store like Bulk Barn. I live in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and Canada, and Bulk Barn supplies the 21 grains that's required for this recipe. So 21 grains, that's the staple of this recipe, but the other staple is the water. Many of you might not know, but Winnipeg bleaches their water. They put chlorine gas into the water pipes that we drink. I found out about that recently, and a way to do that, fix that, is just simply fill up water in jugs, and overnight the chlorine gas evaporates, and by the morning time you got chlorine-free water. Chlorine being one of the most destructive chemicals known to man. So anyways, I measure about halfway full of my soup pot with the water. So that's roughly 12 liters. Anyways, I'll put the rest of the ingredients list in the video. So enough about measurements. But what I'll do is now my water is starting to, it's getting steamy. So what I'll do is take tea bags. This is a Bengal spice tea, and it's got cinnamon, carob, natural flavors of ginger, cardamom, black pepper, cloves, and nutmeg. So I throw 6 of these tea bags in. Gives it a good flavor to the water to begin. I'm a spice guy. I like it hot. I like it spicy. I like it hot and kind of sexy. But on another note, the box that I just threw in the garbage, it lists its ingredients, and because I like it so spicy, I go ahead and I make a plate. Oh crap! Almost shut off the recording. I make a plate here of the spices that are listed in priority on the box, because I like to kick it up a notch. And so there's the spices. They'll go in a few minutes once the tea is steeped. And while we're waiting for that to happen, I'll go through some of the other ingredients that, for instance, are important to the process of making my 21 grain porridge. Alright, so pure vanilla. I don't skimp on I don't use the crap stuff. I put in probably a good third of the bottle, and then all sunflower oil. I'm going to pour a good half cup, and then I'll also put in coconut oil. It's a great source of energy, and it's no trans fat. Alright, so I'm going to put in a good scoop of that later. But what the oils do is they make the grains not stick and burn in the bottom of the pot. Then the middle ingredient here is xyla. It's a natural sweetener made from birch bark, And the reason that I put that in, I'll go into detail later. I also have some maple syrup, organic molasses. I love it because look at that. Nutritional content. It's packed with vitamins B6, magnesium, iron, calcium, potassium. So it's not empty junk calories. It's actually sweetening but giving back to my body. Alright, so then yeah, let's put you back over here so I can show you what I've done with the grains. Okay, I have these measuring cups and 21 grains. What I do is I decant the grains into these from the bags. Okay, and I'll show you, there's a trick to doing this without spilling a whole bunch of rice and all over the place. I take the bag with one hand on the opening and the other hand at the other corner, and then I just gently shake, 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 and out it comes. Because there's 21 grains, this is a much faster process than putting a scoop in and then measuring it out. This way there's no little measuring cup required. It's just straight into the big cup. I get the measurement here. And now this is quinoa. This is a super high protein seed. And I'll go more into detail that later. Right now I just want to show you the beautiful variety of grains that you're getting. You know, it's a multi-grain food, and in today's day and age, big business pharmaceutical companies trying to sell you all these multivitamin crap. Really, in essence, what it is, it's kind of toxic, and it's for people who are malnourished, not somebody who gets 3 square meals a day in North America society. And yeah, so instead, why take something in pill form when you can get the added benefit of protein, good fats, and insoluble fiber, which your body desperately needs, not just the chemical vitamins and minerals that are in these pills. Okay, so the tea is steeped. What I'll do is I'll just take a fork and I'll squeeze out a bit of the extra natural flavors in the bag. And maybe I'll give you a shot here also what the color should look like. It's a nice dark color, and so I'll scoop those bags out and okay, I'm not totally ambidextrous, so I'm gonna have to put the camera down. Yeah, Bengal spiced tea. It's got a nice sweet but spicy flavor, and that's why I use it. Okay. Now that's starting to boil, so I can start throwing the vanilla. So yeah, more about this Zyla product. Chiropractor I saw over the last couple of months because I was T-boned in a car accident, and the crash left me with a bit of back pain. So I went to this chiropractor, who my mom had heard was pretty like smart and more of like a holistic type of healer. And when I went there, he was very thorough with his examination, and he invited me to an information session about the dangers of sugar, because he's a holistic kind of doctor, and he practices what's actually called maximized living. You can go to the website maximized living whatever .ca com. He talks in this informational dinner about the dangers of sugar, And sugar is one of the it's a very dangerous, almost as bad as salt, in the fact that it's an anti-nutrient. Your body spends more energy processing it and excreting it than it actually gains from eating it. And of course, there's a whole other list, of bad things. Primarily, it causes diabetes and cholesterol, surprisingly. So he then started to say, well, yeah, you should try to cut out sugar and use a natural sweetener like Zyla. So that's why I'm using Zyla. All right, so now this is boiling. What I'll do is get in the spices. Just dump them in. Okay, and with the spices in there, what you want to do is give it a whisk to mix it around. Oh, but I forgot the oil. Yes. Now I put in the sunflower and coconut oil so that when spices and then the seeds and grains and raisins go in, it's going to melt onto the top of the surface of the water. Oil lighter than water. Then when everything drops into it, it first has to pass through the oil, and it gets coated so that later, after about 30 minutes of cooking, rice takes a long time to soften up. That oil is going to keep it from making really hard burnt layer on the bottom of the pan or pot. So, okay, that's all good. I got both of the coconut and the sunflower oil, the spices, and the water is almost to a boil. So that's a good, because now that that's happening, I can move on to the next part, which I forgot is very important. So I don't want to boil it too much right now, because this is going to take a few minutes of my time. Turn that down to low and leave it there to wait for the grains. Okay, so in today's society, grains, get scooped up in the field and by the combines. If you've ever seen a combine go by, it throws up a huge cloud of dust. And that dust contains mice poop, caterpillar poop, herbicide, chemical, dangerous pesticides, and all sorts of other junk that isn't good for us. And what do you think, like in Kellogg's cereal or Quaker Oats, even, for example, they get, these companies, huge factories, get shipped the grains, and then these grains aren't washed before they're ground up in the flour to go into Kellogg's, Rice Krispies or crackers. So what I do is I'm going to rinse with water the grains. And what that does is, I wish you could see this. Underneath the strainer, the water is coming out brown. There's little specks of grass, and all sorts of junk that really contains a lot of toxins and even poisons. When you talk about like pesticides and chemicals that can kill a grasshopper from eating on the stalks of the corn. But, so what does that do to our bodies? It's not meant to go into our bodies. So that's why I give everything a quick rinse and shake out the heavy stones and things that you don't want to be crunching on with your teeth. Okay? It's all about maximized living, essentially. Alright, so now that's been rinsed off. Dump it into a large pot. And I'm ready for the second batch, which is over here. Okay. So, Now what I just rinsed off and put in the big pot was a seed called quinoa. And quinoa is an ancient grain. Oh, hi Mom, you're in the shot now. Sorry, sorry folks. Mom, she's next door in the room. So anyway, back to the conversation about quinoa. Quinoa is renowned for its ability to be a superfood. There's only a handful of plant byproducts that contain a full amino acid makeup. So that, in layman's terms, is it actually has like meat protein. Okay, so quinoa, it's full of protein, and the beauty of it is that the pound of quinoa that I'm putting in my porridge, it's equivalent to chicken or beef, yet it costs maybe 50 cents for that pound of quinoa. So this is not only a healthy porridge, a healthy food to eat, but it's also very economical. So that's why I'm making this video, because it's so important. Later on, I might show you some pictures of how healthy my body looks with my shirt off, because I eat this porridge like going out of style. It's a staple food, so I eat it for lunch, and I also eat it for supper. And I'm skinny and I'm healthy, but I don't have to go to the gym. I haven't been to the gym for 6 months, and you know, I do work as an electrical apprentice, so I do physical work, but just stay tuned, you know, and later you'll get to see me with my shirt off. Okay, so one more couple batches of rinse, and it'll be good to throw all the 21 grains into the pot to get cooked.
I want to go to bed.
What I'll do is I'll try to speed up this process, and for your viewers at home. Okay, so the grains are rinsed, the water is bubbling, and now the grains can go to get cooked. You know what? Before I throw in the grains, I'm going to put in maple syrup. Now I go by I usually go by the spoonful. I do 6 soup spoons of syrup. So that's 4 so far, roughly. 5, 6. Oh. And I'll throw in molasses. Now molasses has got a strong flavor, so I'll only do a fairly big scoop of that. So that's in. Now the grains can go. Now when I put in the grains, I do it gently because it will tend to slide out in one big glob and splash up hot water. So I'll just gently put it in. Take my spatula and I'll scrape out most of this stuff at the bottom. Okay, so most of it. Oh geez, I wish Mom wasn't going to sleep so early tonight, because I can't be talking too loud and can't really be talking, period. Live in a bit of a smaller house. Alright. So, now, this is a man's cooking show when you got a power drill with a spatula on the end of it. But the reason I use this is because if I had a mixer that had a power cord, you know, the power cord, I gotta hold on to it and make sure it's not falling in the meal, and so this way, hands, you know, it's one hand hot kind of thing, you know. The temperature is on high. Don't want it to be on high, and you don't want the nuts or the grains to be boiling. You want it to be on like a medium low, number 3 stovetop setting. But here's a picture of what you got there. It's a beautiful color, because I forgot to mention that in one of the spices that I poured in earlier is called turmeric, and it's a spice that prevents cancer. It's been featured on Dr. Oz. It's got a bit of a unique taste, so the amount that I put in, I'm used to it. You might want to dial it down a bit, but that's what gives it the beautiful golden colors, that turmeric powder. And you know, in such a large pot, the amount that I put in, it's all balanced. It adds actually an okay flavor. So anyways, yeah, I don't want this to boil, but I'll see. Put it on there, and yeah, it should be good. So, alright, I'll just wrap up this movie quicker then by explaining the last few steps. What you want to do is you want to be frequently mixing it every few minutes. So 3 minutes, or in a couple minutes, I'll give it another mix. And then one of the ingredients that you want to put in when the consistency of the water gets thick, like a porridge, like oatmeal, what you want to put in is raisins. I choose organic raisins because if you Google this, the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen, raisins are one of the most herbicide and pesticide foods or fruits in the supermarket. So yeah, organic raisins. The amount that I put in, again, it's sort of just by eyeball, but I think on my ingredients list, it's three cups. So throw those in at a later time in cooking. And another thing also is the ginger root. I didn't get around to skinning it yet, but you know, I usually leave this till after, like right now. So anyways, yeah, the ginger root, you just peel it off, the skin off, and then with a chopping knife, you just make it into a nice diced chopped size, and throw that in with the raisins. So about like another 20 minutes after that, you should have a nice thick porridge. But here's the thing: if you're mixing it, okay, the mixer, if it gets really tough to mix it, if you don't have a power mixer, if you're doing it by hand, especially, you'll want to add some more water. So what I do is I have a kettle on standby, and I'm heating that up now. So the kettle, you know, I add about an extra liter sometimes to, or in American terms, that's a quart of water to help the grains to have some more hydration, more water to make it easier to mix, you know. And yeah, so then when that's all done, you got a delicious 21 multi-grain porridge, and simply all this goes in the fridge with the lid on it, and in the morning you don't even have to you don't have to open a cereal box. It's right here ready to go, a delicious food. And stay tuned, because the shirtless pictures are coming up soon. Alright, well, may the Lord bless you, and all the best. Kevin, signing out.